My name is Mark Monlux, and this is another episode of Epic Sketch Time. This is an online drawing group that meets every Monday at 4:30 Pacific Time. If you'd like to join this group, go to the doobly-doo down below. There should be a link, maybe, if I do it right, if I remember, where you can sign up to our reminder list. And we sometimes have technical difficulties, so just keep trying until you get in. You might have gotten the link via Twitter. Keep signing up. Anyway, let me introduce myself, and then these gentlemen will introduce themselves. I'm a freelance illustrator that lives in Tacoma, Washington. I've been working as a freelancer since '85, and I like to draw cartoon reviews of movies and movie-related schlock in my spare time. Bill, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Bill Morse. I'm a freelance illustrator working out of Seattle, Washington. In my spare time, I do a web comic strip called Rhapsodies. And I'm also currently inflicting a sketch challenge on myself involving Batman.
Nice. I guess that would be me. I am Russ Richards. I am also a freelance illustrator based out of Graham, Washington. Seems like all of us are from Washington here lately. Anyways, I have a couple things. I have a couple books that are out right now. The Secret Life of Ewoks, and then I got my sketchbook 1 coming out hopefully by the end of next month. So anyways, and then I'm currently working on a commission piece of a Dalek from Doctor Who. Cleaning the bathroom. Anyways, I thought it was fun.
So what is the secret to...
Russ, I didn't hear the book titles because it cut off on my audio. Can you repeat those?
Sure. My first book I have that's currently out and available is The Secret Life of Ewoks. It's a funny 30 days of what the day in the life of an Ewok. And then I have my sketchbook 1 coming out hopefully by mid-May or end of May. So I'll have those 2 out. And then obviously I'm a freelance illustrator and I take commissions. So anyways, in fact, that's what I'm working on right now is a commission piece.
So what are the Ewok secrets? Stuff like that they were actually eating the stormtroopers to get the helmets for their drum sets?
Yep. That's actually page 1. Shows them pounding on one of the helmets and just kind of... And there's a story that goes along with all of it, so it's pretty funny. But I do a lot of little crossovers. I have some stuff that from Futurama, Bender shows up. Because of the lack of C-3PO, obviously there needed to be another robot to replace their overlord. So Bender, of course, takes over that role.
Of course.
And then I have just a couple. I have like Star Trek even, and it shows them all down on the planet and saying that it's okay, and it's just got it's got these little furry bears, but it's inhabitable and send down the red shirts. So just stuff like that. So just fun, cute little things. I even got some Disney crossovers. I think Stitch is in there at some point. And anyways, just fun little things like that. And even kind of touches base with like, I have like, if Chewie and a Ewok got together and they had a kid, what would they make? It would be obviously Fozzie the Bear. So
that is disturbing.
Right? Anyways, but there's more to the book, so if you check out the book, most definitely look on. It's on Amazon even, and it's on my website, Russ Richards Art. So yeah, fun stuff. And then I got part 2 coming out this October, so I'll have that hopefully done by then. And
so with Amazon, does that mean you were doing it as their printing service, or was this a Kickstarter?
Yes, I did it through their Create Space.
I keep meaning to look into that, but...
Oh, it's wonderful. It's probably one of the best things to ever be, I don't know, invented or anything that they do. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'd like, in the long run, like to do something better for product, but as far as considering I have probably... one, I need to restock my stuff, and Lulu I got kind of tired of, especially after they discontinued my chosen size format.
Right on. Okay. Yeah, it's a great program. It's probably one of my favorites. I love it.
So, Russ, you weren't able to go to Freelance Fandango this morning.
No, I have my my little sister's visiting from Southern California right now. She's on spring break, so
Well, how much fun is that?
oh, it's a ton of fun. She's 17 and let me tell you, man, I like learn a whole new vocabulary. Like I don't know, it's hilarious. It's like that whole, from was it Back to the Future where there was like, how Marty McFly keeps saying that, oh well, that's heavy, Doc, and so one of the things Doc says back, he's like, what's wrong with the gravity in the future? Is it broken? Because he says it's like one of those. Oh man, I'm so out of touch. Anyways.
He says to the guy in his 50s.
Anyways. But yeah.
Oh, and if before we get into things, if anybody's curious, this is the samples of the Batman challenge I was talking about.
Nice.
This is the first one with the man himself, and then I generally do these random so that I don't let because the part of the exercise is trying to get around times when you can't rely on your muse. So so therefore I generally choose from scraps of paper from the hat, and so against my better judgment, today's was Deadshot.
Oh, cool.
And that's, since this is obviously the second, that's what I got so far. But at the moment, I'm mostly optimistic.
That's cool. So, like, you just have like villains and heroes and different things from the Batman.
Yeah,
DC
essentially,
universe?
I took a list based on Wikipedia's article on all the characters from the franchise, and
Oh, okay.
I like to find an angle to make it more interesting, and
Sure.
I was kind of blocking on that. Currently, my idea is sort of doing a realistic modern pulp setting, if that makes any sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Where sort of trying to figure out all the things that really don't work in the present day, or even if they do, just what I mean, stuff like spandex, for example. I mean, I partially hid Batman in the shadows like that, so I wouldn't have to think about redesigning his costume.
Sure. Oh, that's clever. I like that. That's a good challenge. That's fun.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of stuff that I always think would make more sense if it in such a way. For example, considering what Batman supposedly has set up, as far as I'm concerned, Batman needs a staff. So translation, a whole lot more than just Alfred down in the cave.
Right.
So if you look at my screen right now, this is a monster, an alien called the Creeping Terror, otherwise known on Mystery Science 3000 as
your share isn't on right now.
No, we got your forehead.
Right.
Wow, that's some creature there.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
Nice. There we are.
This is the infamous carpet monster, and what I'm doing is I'm adding on a kind of a dark blue layer and a yellow layer, and I have them knocked back. So here's what those layers are at a larger percentage. And I've been having more fun coloring things garishly first, and then knocking down the percentages to get just where I want it to go. Like that.
So why is it called the carpet? People call it, was it actually made out of carpet, or?
Looks like it's made out of carpets.
Okay.
And see this aperture is the politest way I could call it down here. This thing's kind of got a long body. This is sort of like the front look of it. And what it does is it grabs people and it sucks them in this way into its slug-like body behind it.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, this particularly horrible movie. Have you seen it, Russ?
No, I haven't seen this one. It makes me want to though.
Yeah, you should watch the Mystery Science 3000 version of
Oh,
it.
of course. I don't think there's any other way to watch it. Especially these old horror. Those are the best. Oh, you know what? I was gonna ask you if you had. Oh, what is it? I think it's either It Came from Outer Space. I think that's what it's called, or something like. But they're like these little, like eyeball looking things that bounce, and like they take like pod people style, take over the school and the parents, and nobody believes the kid, but this teacher, and like the teacher believes them, and then they like, I don't know, but they look like giant brains or something like that with like a giant eye or something. Dang, if I could remember, I was going to ask you about it too. I'll have to look it up.
What decade? Can you name it?
It was probably mid 80s.
Oh, if it's mid 80s, I may not know it. Now you got me curious.
Hang on, give me a second. I'll look it up.
Jumping Eyes, huh?
Oh yeah, and then like main. I think I found it. Like the main bad guy is this weird looking. I think it's called They Came from Mars.
Oh,
I want to say that's it. Hang on. Invaders from Mars. That's what it is.
Oh,
that's the remake.
Yeah, the remake. There was a 1953 one. I just saw it just now.
I still
Have you ever seen the 1953 version?
No, I've never seen the 1953
Oh,
one.
the 1953 version's better than the.
Is it really?
that's what I keep hearing. Yes.
That's awesome.
I mean, the special effects might be better in the 80s version, but
Oh, I don't know about that.
The animatronics of the I was impressed by the puppets they made for it, but
Yeah, the 80s one, right? Like the weird looking bouncing brain eye puppet teeth thing. I don't know how to even
and then
describe them.
the whole warrior ones,
Yeah.
which were sort of looked like a bit like kind of like the critters.
Yeah. Yep.
they always kind of remind me of like a walking Audrey. Or am I thinking of the bouncing eye ones? I gotta watch that one again. It's been
Yeah. I don't know. Those would be some cool looking creatures though to go on some of your cards and your poster.
I thought about putting in Mars Attacks,
Oh, that would be a good one too.
but pardon me, not Mars Attacks, but Invaders from Mars. But it wasn't obscure enough.
No?
No, that's a fairly
Yeah, I
popular.
mean, the 50s one is regarded as one of the classics.
Oh, well, the 80s one then. Do the 80s one. That's obscure. You could even do just the teacher, the creepy teacher that just stands there.
Doesn't she get gobbled up?
Yes, she does. The little kid like pushes her into one of the mouths or something like that of the creature.
And she starts going off on this weird tangent.
Yes.
Next thing you know, gobble gobble.
Yep.
That's when I knew that movie jumped the shark. So
Anyways, that would be a good one. I would like it.
This Friday night in Tacoma is Fright Night Theater, and Russ, you did the poster.
It's not this Friday.
It's not this Friday?
No, it's the third Friday of every month. So not till
It's this Friday.
no, it's not for a bit. It is on the 20th. I actually have the sketch. I'm working on that. I can pull that up real quick. Let's see if it's here.
Now, I have yet to see Dolls. So,
It's short. It's only an hour long. But this is what I've got so far. I still need to do. This is still very much my light pencil sketch for it.
right.
So I still got a couple things, but like I'm gonna make it look like it's like kind of like a bookshelf or like a toy cabinet or something like that. So that's kind of what I'm doing. If you look at my screen over here, so I got creepy doll with half its face off, and it's gonna be a skull underneath. And then this guy right here in the middle, he's like the main character throughout. His name is Mr. Punch.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. And so I've got him, and I'm gonna have him like half his face lit up by this candle that's right here, and it's dripping wax. And then
That's the way you do it.
Yep. And then I thought it would be and then the main poster, the original poster, actually had a little girl, a doll girl, holding its eyes out. So that's why I kind of did this here. So that way you'll have like the doll holding the eyes. And then I thought it'd be really funny if I added Anthony, which is the head of the, like, he's the host of the show. He hosts the show. So I thought I was going to put him in here with as a doll holding a knife, totally. So I'm going to throw him in there just as for fun.
I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
Oh yeah, wearing like a Friday Night Fright shirt, and then I'll have little hidden eyes, like here and here, like throughout. Just fun little things like that. There'll just be hidden things everywhere. I usually like to hide things throughout all my pictures, so it'll be kind of fun. At one point in the movie, there's toy soldiers that obviously kill somebody. So I'm gonna put a bunch of toy soldiers on this side over here. There's like an evil teddy bear at the beginning, so I'm gonna have that kind of sitting on the shelf over here. But anyways, and then one thing I do for all my Friday Night posters is I put the car, the main car that is in the movie. And I actually found out, I had to like search and search and search, but I figured out what car is in this movie. It shows it at the end, and it's this one right here that I have shown. And it's called an MGTC or something like that. It's a British car. Anyways, it took me a bit to figure it out, but I found it, and that's going to be part of the poster too. So I'll have all that fun stuff going on. But yeah. So yeah, I got a lot to work on that, but hopefully this week I can crack it out. I have quite a few commissions I actually got all of a sudden inundated with, which is not a bad thing. I'll take them. But yeah, that's what I've been working on here lately.
That one project that you talked about, I'm guessing they didn't call you back?
So he emailed me back, and he was like, he's all, thanks for the breakdown. Thanks for giving me your prices. I will email the main person about it all, and we'll get back to you. And that's the last I've heard. So I don't know if it could be, who knows? It could be June. All of a sudden, he emails me back and is all like, "Oh, we decided to go with you and utilize me," or I may never hear it back. So who knows? But you know how those things go. Like,
yeah, a lot of the times, if it's a guy doing a project through another person,
yeah,
often they're putting out a feeler to see whether or not they can get a commission off of you relatively cheap and still make a profit by turning it around themselves.
right.
Other times, I find that people will go, "What? You charge how much?"
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
then they kind of went, "Well, for that much, I can do it."
yeah.
But no, it could just simply be about an approval process too, like you said.
Yeah. Which is fine. Like if they want to take their time. I mean, I got plenty to do right now on my own stuff, so they can take their time for now.
Now, are you doing time tracking?
Oh, for this project or which project?
For all of your projects.
Oh, like the commission pieces that I do?
Yeah.
No, I usually just charge them up for, like, I do 50% up front and then charge them the rest when it's done.
No, you need to start charging. Well, you need to start tracking your time.
Oh, okay.
on how much time you spend on old projects, because what it does is it'll let you know at what point you either have to increase the amount you're charging on commissions, or you stopped doing commissions in lieu of projects.
Gotcha.
Because you need to track your time on every project you do.
Right.
And what that'll do is you'll very quickly get a sense of, because when you were working before for a shop, it really wasn't your time. You said, "Oh, I'll work on this. Yeah, I'll get it done for you, boss." And they had to deal with working on the profit margin. But yeah, it's the major failing of most freelancers is that they don't even bother tracking their time.
I'm getting better at it. It's sort of at the very
kind of cut out there though, Mark.
I said the major failing of most freelancers is that they don't track their time. Did you hear me that time?
Are you still there, Bill? I think Mark disappeared. Or did I disappear? I don't know.
I hear you just fine.
Can you hear me fine?
There you guys go. Yeah, your screen went black for a while, and I couldn't hear you guys.
Oh, I didn't realize.
So I got to, you said that you should always track your time, because eventually if you don't, you'll find that if it's even worth you doing commissions, period.
Right. Also, it gives you a great idea, or rather, it'll give you a sense of how long it takes you to do any type of project.
Right.
So you need to start tracking time on every project you do during the day.
Okay.
At the very least, I find that the psychological effect of having your stopwatch running keeps you very focused.
Oh, for sure, I could see that. So I got a question for you guys. If somebody pays you to do a commission piece, like say for instance, piece I'm working on right now, would you guys turn around and also sell it at your next convention, or because they paid for that commission, it's theirs?
No.
No, as in no, you wouldn't sell it, or no, you would.
Mean, the only thing they're buying that for is what are you licensing it to them as?
Oh, this is true.
What you do is you say, okay, here's your commission piece, and you have to put the license in writing.
Okay.
Otherwise, no copyright gets transferred.
Okay.
So you can say, I'm sorry, but if most of the commission pieces that you're doing for other people, you need to say how it's going to be used, if it's going to be used, or because otherwise they'll try to use it as a logo form.
Oh, okay.
Now, of course, you're doing a Dalek here.
Yeah. But a lot of the stuff I'm doing is like it's either, I don't know, it could be anything from, like, here's one I did earlier today. Like, I just finished this one. This was a,
Savage Land.
Yeah, Savage Land Rogue.
No,
I finished that one, but I'd love to sell. I know I could sell that at conventions.
The only thing that you're giving the client is the artwork.
Right.
Okay. Here is how I explain it to people. When let's say you're a writer of a book.
Okay.
Okay. Someone commissioned you to write the story. Okay, you wrote the story for them, but you still own the story.
True.
Okay, a publisher might hire you to do a book, but they don't own the book. You own the book. They only own the license that you provide them as author to put out the book. So that's the same. If you did a painting, okay, like a physical painting, and this is what you're doing, you're basically providing them a physical piece of artwork.
Right.
Okay, but you own the licensing to that. So even if I did, like, say, a painting of a daisy, and I gave that, and the person buys that physical thing from me, I let them know, so, no, you only own this physical property. You do not own the licensing rights to it. Now, if they come back to you and they say, hey, we want to license this, then first you have to make sure that they're authorized to license it. Because let's face facts, you are treading on dangerous water whenever you use somebody else's, like you got, even if it's a mashup like what you're doing right now.
Sure.
The only reason you're getting away with this is because they're letting you get away with it.
Of course.
But part of you has to protect yourself by saying to whoever it is that you're doing this, can't have you going around selling this, especially as my artwork, because I should be, you're going to get me in trouble, whereas I should be the only one getting myself in trouble,
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Now, like this one here, I'm actually going to be doing, you know how I do the hand-painted animation cells?
Right.
So this one is actually going to be, this one's a hand-painted one that I'm doing, and so is the Rogue. So this one here is also going to be a hand-painted. But I mean, I have these prints that I'll sell that they won't sell, like.
That's right.
So, all right. I mean, that gives me a better understanding. Like, I kind of felt like, because there's been a few commissions that I've done that I haven't sold at conventions because I felt like, oh, I did this for this person, and I'd hate to have them show up at a convention and be like, oh, I thought you made this just for me.
The thing is, unless it's in writing, all rights belong to you.
Okay.
And when it comes to doing the original, you may create something original for them, and you may have done something that they suggested, and the money they put towards you to do that inspired you to do that. But in order for you to make money on the image in the long run, you need to sell prints of it.
Right. Okay. All right. That's good. Good information. I like that.
Of course, anyone watching this should know that you should always ask first and get licensing whenever you want to sell anything.
Of course.
And of course, there's lots of people who blatantly don't do that because right now the culture accepts it. Says the man drawing a 1950s horror movie monster who hasn't bothered to
And nor do I own the rights to this Dalek. Like, I'm sure that's, whoever the rights of the BBC or whomever. Same thing with my Ewoks. Like, I don't own the rights of Ewoks. George Lucas and, all the people over at Disney own that. Like, but I wrote a book about it, Yeah,
and they may come after you.
I know. I'm waiting for that day. That'll happen.
Which is why you should have an LLC.
Yeah. And
do you have an LLC?
I do have an LLC.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm already getting sued by too many other entities. I don't need to be sued by anybody else like Disney. I'm just kidding. I'm not getting sued by anybody, but still.
Speaking of suing to get stuff,
yeah.
Did you get your unemployment?
No. Even the unemployment lady agreed with me that I was being harassed. Like, she was like, straight up, yeah, I would have left too. She's like, but unfortunately, unless it was a hate crime or he physically assaulted me, I can't. So, but I can contest it as of last Friday, and I just haven't done it. I just haven't done yet. So.
Well, you should contest it right away.
Yeah.
Because that's money just sitting on the table for you.
Oh, I know. Let's be honest. I'm only getting so many commissions. It's not going to last forever. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just a shame. I mean, it even had it happen. Like I've said before, I think I've said it before that, I enjoyed that job. It was a fun job. I mean, who wouldn't like that? I mean, I got to design T-shirts for the national parks. It was awesome. But there's always somebody that ruins it for someone. Did I tell you I ran into my boss at ECC at Emerald City?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, he wouldn't give me the time of day. Like, just totally blew me off.
Really?
Oh yeah. And that's the part that bugs me the most too, is that like he blows Brill off too all the time, and he works there with him. And I even told Brill, like, while we were there, that it happened, and he's just like, "Oh, that's just how he is." And I'm like, "No, that's how he is. Period. Like, with everybody, that's not right." So, anyways, and that was nice. I was actually really nice to him. I was like, "Hey, how's it going? How are things?" And he just kind of like, "Oh yeah, doing great. Yep." Like one word answers. I was like, "Oh, how you enjoying the show?" And he was just like, "Yep, Like didn't even give me straight answers. I was like, "Okay, well." But oh well. Is what it is.
So, has anyone seen any movies this week?
I finished watching some utterly schlock movies about parkour.
Nice.
Which consisted of District 13 and Tracers.
Oh, okay. I've seen District 13. That's not too bad.
No, it's one of those ones where it's essentially a French Hong Kong action film.
Yeah.
It doesn't pretend to be anything else.
Mm-mm. Now, what is the one that oh, no, I can't remember his name. The guy that just passed away a couple years ago, and he's in all the Fast and the Furious. He was in a parkour movie too. Was that District 13?
I don't think so. The only guy who I saw who had died listed on it was one of the guys who pleaded the lead thug, but he had one of those careers that you wouldn't have heard of him outside of France.
Oh, okay.
Am I the only one here who still hasn't seen Thor Ragnarok?
Oh my goodness, that is
Yes,
the greatest movie.
you are.
That was one of my favorites last year. Had to be one of my favorites. I wanted to go see Ready Player One. I might go see that tomorrow.
I don't know why, but that one really has not triggered my curiosity.
Oh.
I tried the book and it didn't do squat for me.
Oh, shame. I liked the book. I actually read the book like twice.
I've never read the book.
Oh, it's so good. See, and I've heard the opposite. I've heard that if you've read the book, you will not like the movie. Like, I've actually had several people that are like, "Oh yeah, like it's such a disappointment. They ruined the movie for me." All this other stuff. I was like, "Oh, okay."
I have some friends who they want to see Pacific Rim.
Nice. Same.
So
I saw one review that completely reamed it, but considering I'm a fan of the original,
Same.
I'm just hoping Ron Perlman will be in it.
The one that I really want to see, but I'm not trying to put a slot to watch it, is Island of Dogs.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see Island of Dogs.
I mean, if it's as good as Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh, who's the director of that? That's
Wes Anderson.
I love Wes Anderson movies. Like the way he films things is amazing. Like
yeah, and the beauty of the animated stuff is he can take the stylistic stuff that he uses for his regular stuff and crank it up to the nines.
Right. Yeah, I like his movies. He's got good stuff.
I mean, I can't say I've seen close to all of them. Besides the animated ones, I've only pretty much only seen Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh, okay.
Really?
You got to see Life Aquatic though.
I've seen part of Life Aquatic.
Oh, okay. That one's really good. What's that? There's the hotel one, and I think it's even on Netflix right now. The Grand.
That's one I've just been putting off. I know I have to see it.
It's so good. Like, I think it won the Academy Award that year, didn't it, for Best Film?
I don't think so. I'm sure I would have heard of it if it did.
I think it may have won something. Anyways, I enjoyed it. It was good. Definitely worth it.
Oops.
Oh, hey, I just got notice that Wizard World in Portland just opened up a few more Artist Alley stuff. If you guys are interested, I just jumped on that today.
Oh.
No, I don't do Wizard World.
No? Okay. Do explain. I need to know why.
Because I do Rose City.
Oh, okay.
Is
it a conflict of interest if you do both?
I used to do both. It's not a conflict of interest.
Okay.
I did before it was Wizard World, it was called something else.
Okay.
And then it got bought out by Wizard World. And after it got bought out, I just didn't invest any money into going and doing it because it was so expensive.
Yeah.
And I talked to some other people, and they said, well, they preferred Lilac. They preferred Rose City to it.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, for the money, if I had to choose between one or two of them, I would stick with doing. Rose City has treated me so well.
Yeah.
They one time messed up, and I didn't make it into the catalog. And I showed up, and they said, "Well, Mark, no, we have you down as you canceled." I said, "I did not cancel this show."
Yeah.
And then they found it. They checked their database, and apparently, the person who was working the database hadn't deleted the person who had canceled, but had deleted me instead because I was the next person on the database. It was just an error. So the first day, they put me off in the corner, and I'm literally next to Puppies and Kittens, the Rescue Society. I'm at the farthest corner, and just as I think somebody's coming up to my table, they go, "Ooh, kittens," and they tangent off.
Oh, no.
But the next day, They moved me right into the thick of things, and I was right next to the biggest draw, which was Axe Cop.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And that's how they made it up to me. And so I got a lot of great traffic. And then they said, by the way, your table's free next year.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's awesome.
That's Rose City for you. Rose City has always listened to my concerns, and they've done a grand job. So it was a really easy choice for me to choose. Okay, if I have to do one of two shows, who am I going to do?
Right.
So you're going to go do Wizard World.
Yeah, I figured why not. I mean, it wasn't too badly priced. I think it was like $300 for Artist Alley. I mean, that is pricey. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that is a lot of money. But I don't know. I mean, I don't have. I mean, the next show that I have is Central City or whatever. WinCon is next, but that's not till the end of the month. But I've been, lacking in shows since ECC, Emerald City. I figured, why not? Let's try to jump on and grab another show that might be pretty big.
And you're doing pretty well at shows, so.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, like I said, as long as you can make a profit at the shows.
Yeah.
And, a decent profit, and you've been making a pretty decent profit.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it's due to the, because I do that. I don't know. I hate to say that I'm gimmicky, but I'm gimmicky. Like I have that whole, I do that hand painted cell animation stuff, and it's a little bit unique to what everybody else is doing out there. I don't see many others doing it. Not yet, at least.
Well, also your style is very nice.
Oh, thanks.
And it lends itself to that cell animation.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it's, my animation background.
Nicer than a print, which is why people are willing to pay more for it.
Sure. Well, I appreciate the compliment. Thank you.
But no, you got to kind of start factoring in, is it going to be how many shows can you do before you wears you out?
Yeah.
You got to determine, which ones are your best shows, the ones that you make the most money at.
Yeah.
And if Wizard World does it for you, that's great.
Right.
But it's sort of like, I was kind of going, I don't want to saturate the Portland market, but there used to be another show. I used to do Stumptown.
Okay.
And they don't do Stumptown anymore. That kind of got rolled into Wizard World.
Okay.
And Stumptown was more of a independent comic book writers thing.
See, I wonder if that's similar to that that one I did at the beginning of the year. It was called I Like Comic Con or whatever.
Oh, I think I know that one.
Yeah.
Where's that one located?
That one was in Vancouver, Washington. So just on the border between the two.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was similar people involved.
Because somebody was saying that and I wish I would have. But yeah, somebody there was like, "Oh yeah, this was originally this Comic Con, but then they're not doing it anymore." So it may have been that you're talking about.
It might have been Stumptown, huh?
Yeah.
Had a good indie comic feel to it.
Yes, and what was nice, like this was very much centered around the artist. Like they brought in some of the big heavy hitters in the industry as far as comic book artists and stuff, and those were the featured people that they brought in, not movie stars, not like all the and that's fun, that's good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't mind having Tom Hiddleston or Chris Pratt or somebody showing up to these shows. That's a big draw for people. But what was cool is that it reminded me of how San Diego used to be. Like when I was a kid going to San Diego Comic-Con, and it was more, you know, the comics. You know, you went for the comics. You went to go see comics. You know, you went to go see Stan Lee, or you went to go see, you know, like some of the big heavy hitters that are out there. You know, Jim Lee or Frank Chu or Chow or however you say his name. You know, that's why you went to these. And that's what it kind of reminded me of, and that's what's cool. And I'm hoping this continues going forward. So, but it was a good show. Like I'll definitely do it next year.
Interesting. I think I caught the tag end of that golden age when I went there in the mid '90s.
Okay, right on. Yeah, and that's about when I was going to Comic-Con, was midnight. You know, I was in high school and enjoying it and doing stuff. And then it wasn't even, it was like night and day. Like it almost literally overnight changed. Like it was crazy. I almost want to blame it on Twilight, and I hate to say that, but that's in all honesty, in my opinion. Like one year we went and it was, you know, there was a few movies, there was a few things, but nothing like what it was. And then the one year that Twilight came out, that's all you saw there at the convention, and you're just like, what's going on? What has changed? Why is it this way? So, but anyways, now it's so expensive to get into San Diego. It's nuts.
Oh, and not just the getting in part. I mean, when I went there, I was still able to make a reservation at the YMCA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I seriously doubt that trick works at all now.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure the Y is the first. Yeah.
I hadn't even thought of the YMCA. That's creative thinking, Bill.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a remarkably nice one because it mostly caters to the Navy people.
Right.
And it's a nice location. It's about 4 blocks away from the con and remarkably close to the airport.
No. I got in when I was living in California and I was working for a studio down in Burbank. You know, I got industry passes, so I actually got to go with a few of the guys that I worked with. You know, and we went. This has been probably about 3 years ago now, or maybe even 4. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much different it is too. I mean, even to get down there, we paid for a parking spot that wasn't even anywhere near the convention. It was like $90 just for the day, like $90. And luckily we carpooled and we split it, but still, that was just nuts. And then I can't imagine the people that rent the hotels around there, and then just to even get in now is really pricey. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people will hold off on getting Comic-Con tickets until they can get a room reservation first.
Yeah.
And they're literally waiting for that time slot to open up.
Yeah.
And then I hear that room sell out immediately.
Yeah, I hear it's nuts. And see, like I said, when I was going in high school, man, you'd jump on, you'd go to, you know, Ticketmaster or whatever, you'd buy a ticket, you'd go for the day, you'd have fun, it'd be awesome.
Heck, I was still able to get it at the door.
Oh yeah, even then. I mean, yeah, it's crazy how different it is now. Hey, Mark, are you gonna do Fantasticon or whatever in May?
No, I'm not. No? I'm not doing Fantasticon.
Oh man, is it just because of how it was last year? Or?
Yeah, I didn't. You know, remember when I was telling you that it has to be within a certain. You know, I made a profit, but it has to be within a 25% margin of profit.
Sure.
It wasn't within a 25% margin of profit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, no, if I would rather spend my weekend doing something else other than staring at the person across from me staring at me back.
Yeah.
They
Shame.
no, they I'm sure that their new venue. I've been to their new venue. I know that place.
Yeah.
It's a great location, but there's um, oops, dang it, I made a boo boo.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm hang on.
No worries. Well, I jumped onto it. I mean, clearly, since we're talking about, conventions and stuff, it seems like that's what this episode is about this time. It's conventions. I jumped on it. I mean, it was $20. This year it seems that they're putting all the artists mixed in within the one room.
Which
So I
is
don't know.
which is a good thing,
Yeah.
but unless they can get, it's a larger room, it's a larger space,
Right.
but unless they can get attendance up,
Oh, this is true.
a lot of these things, the people behind them are only putting together what I call Facebook attendance, where
Gotcha.
they're not doing any type of a PR notice anywhere else. All they're doing is promoting it on Facebook, and you need to go beyond that to have a good convention show up.
Mm.
Like, for example, the Pierce County Toy and Geek Fest.
Yes.
Those guys are doing a good job of promoting the show.
Oh, agreed.
That's one of the reasons why its attendance numbers were good. I don't know how they did it, but they weren't relying just on Facebook stuff.
Right.
And I think Fantasticon was.
Yeah.
Now, you'll have to tell me if I'm wrong whether or not Fantasticon did better during its second year.
Right.
These places, they think they did an okay job the first year and they expand out.
Right.
I'm a little concerned about the Toy and Geek Festival.
Yeah, did you hear that there's that other one that's coming that's like literally the week before called Ace?
Oh yeah, I was going to ask about that one.
Ace?
Yeah.
Where is it being held?
Here in Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle, right at the dome or whatever.
I was starting to do the homework on it. They're apparently selling tickets, but even though there does not appear to be, even though they have a link to it, there doesn't appear to be any information about tables just yet.
Okay, so I've already talked to the showrunner for the artist. I've actually already contacted him because I wanted to get in. They do their own artists. You are invited. If you are invited, they will contact you. Yeah.
So no need to worry about it then.
Nope. Well, I mean, you can try. I mean, that's what they told me.
Well, how do they even know about you?
I don't know. And I pulled the whole lot. I was like, well, I do this unique style and stuff like that. And I think I sparked an interest with them because I got an email back today in regards to it. But yeah, they straight up told me that they have their own, pretty much their own artists that they bring in, like for the show. So I don't know what that means, like as far as like if that means they have like, I don't know, famous artists that are going to show up and do this stuff. But anyways.
How big is their show?
Well, I mean, they have Tom Hiddleston. They have
No, I mean, how many tables and stuff?
Oh, that I don't know. I have no idea. Like I
Yeah, I
said, when
mean-
I went to inquire, it was all about, they were just like, yeah, we're not interested. We have our own set artists that we do it.
Because the only time I've heard that is when they've had a limited amount of space.
Oh, okay. It's I assume it's where they have, because they said it's at the Safeco Field. So I'm assuming it's at the Safeco Field Convention Center, and I know that they've held parties and stuff there. I've never been to the little
Once
area.
upon a time, there was a group in Seattle called the Graphic Artists Guild,
Uh-huh.
and we would have this stuff called Art Jam.
Okay.
And it was basically, you would show your portfolio. This is before the internet came along.
Okay.
And you would show your portfolio to art buyers. And you would invite art buyers to come in just to look at your portfolio. And
Oh, okay.
so it, different from a regular convention in that these were professionals stopping by to take a look at your book. You know, people from the various agencies in town. Now, Art Jam kind of went by the wayside as the agencies died out. But yeah, we held one year. We held it there, and it was I think that was the last year we had it. And it's a really nice venue.
Yeah.
So.
Is that the one I think? Is that the one that has the boat show in it?
Boats.
I don't think so.
I'm getting it mixed up. I'm not sure if it's because the one I did the boat show. I went to the boat show about a year, and I think it was last year's, and that was a pretty big location, or it could have been the that Seahawks room, which isn't very big at all.
Huh. From what I'm understanding, so what I've been reading about it online is a lot of the people are posting like, oh, this is the rich man's convention. And that even some of the local people are like, I'm saving my money for, Toy and Geek Fest because I'd rather support the local artists than some of the other stuff. So that's been pretty interesting to read about. Yeah, you ever get on there to that the Artist Alley thing that I sent you, Mark, the link to on Facebook?
I missed that link.
I invited you to the group. The Artist Alley, Washington Artist Alley group. I'll look again if I may have not sent it correctly.
Did you send it to me via email or did you send it to me via the messenger?
I sent it via Facebook. Like once I invite you, it'll show you that you have been invited to the group, and you can click yes or no.
Send me. Can you also send me a link to the group?
Yeah.
And that way I can go to it and it can say, hey, you've been invited to this group in case I've mislaid the invite.
Sure. Let's see.
And that's where you've been keeping up on all the local things happening, right?
Yes, that's like where I get all my info. In fact, since we're talking about conventions, they also Lilac just announced a second show in October.
So Lilac is doing. Oh yeah, the Coeur d'Alene show.
Yep, that one. It's a one day on Saturday, like October 24th or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to do that.
No, I don't know about that either. But still, I thought that was pretty neat that they've, added another.
Well, the thing is, I've traveled. At one time, they did Lilac did or tried to branch off into doing like a horror convention one.
Yeah.
That was in October. And just getting over the pass.
Oh,
The driving at that
yeah.
time of year was a major consideration, and I did it, and it turned out to be me and Matt Youngmark went, and it was a complete and utter bust.
Shame.
oh. Speaking of that, are you doing Crypticon, Mark?
Oh yeah, I've been lined up for Crypticon for a long time. Russ, are you doing Crypticon?
I did not do Crypticon. I got in too late. Like I jumped on it too late. I even talked to the showrunner.
Yeah.
And at the Renton City starter thing, and he was eager to have me come and do it, but I didn't get a table in time, so no, unfortunately, I will not be doing that one.
It's not your standard audience.
No, I'm gonna go as a patron for sure. Plus, I've jumped onto. I'm gonna go help out at Action City. I'm gonna help do the claw thing up at Action City for Comic Book Day that day too.
Nice.
Yeah.
So here are my vivid colors. So I'm going to knock back my yellow, and I'm going to knock back my blue.
Oh, very nice.
And I'm pretty happy with how that's come together. I think what I'll do is I'll go in with some a white to put on some glistening bits here and there.
Yes.
And then tone that down. I beg pardon. Anyway, gentlemen, it is 5:30.
It is.
Wow, time flies.
It is. It has.
I want to thank everyone who's joined us today. Russ and Bill, thank you so much.
Of course.
And I'm going to do my best to remember to put a link in the doobly-doo. I'm going to be sending out an email to everybody asking them to provide links that they would like, a URL link that they would like to have with their name and to be put below in the doobly-doo.
Okay.
By doobly-doo, I mean the Facebook, or pardon me, no, the YouTube description. Something that I can just cut and paste from one episode to the other. Anyway, gentlemen, it's been fun, and I'll see you next week.
You'll have a good one.